Today in the kitchen, we're making a chocolate sheet cake with a chocolate frosting. Start by adding all of your dry ingredients to a bowl. We're gonna do 3 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, 2 cups of white sugar or granulated sugar, 1 cup of brown sugar, 1 1/4 cup of cocoa powder, 2 1/2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt, and 2 teaspoons of baking soda. Just whisk it together till everything is combined. All right, so we're gonna move on to our wet ingredients. Start with 4 eggs, and I go ahead and give them a pre-whisk. Add in 1 1/2 cup of full-fat sour cream, 3/4 cup of oil, vegetable oil, 1/2 cup of buttermilk, 1 1/2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, and as much vanilla bean paste as your heart desires, which is about 1 teaspoon for this recipe. Whisk this together. Now add your wet ingredients into your dry ingredients and slowly start incorporating it. Just when your batter is starting to come together like that, we're gonna pour in our last wet ingredient, which is 1 1/2 cups of boiling coffee. Hot coffee, boiling coffee. I just like it to be a strong coffee, so maybe a dark coffee, if you got it. It's gonna look a little bit soupy, a little bit suspicious. Just keep mixing it together. I told y'all there was nothing to worry about. For this recipe, we're gonna use an 18 by 13 half sheet baking dish. And I did go ahead and line it with a baking mat, and then I'm gonna spray it with nonstick cooking spray. And there's nothing that makes me more angry than baking a cake and not being able to get it out of the pan. We're gonna pour this batter all into the baking dish. Spread it out evenly. You're gonna bake this at 350 degrees for 18 to 20 minutes or until a toothpick pulls clean from the middle. For our frosting, we're gonna start with 1/3 cup of butter. Once the butter starts to melt, I'm gonna add in 1 1/4 cup of granulated sugar and 1/3 cup of full-fat sour cream. Stir this consistently so you don't burn your sugars and your butter, and then we're gonna bring this to a boil for 30 seconds. We're at the point where we're ready to add our other ingredients, so we wanna take this off the stove. Add in 1 tablespoon of cocoa powder, a pinch of salt, and 1 cup of dark chocolate chips. That is a beautiful frosting. The cake is out of the oven. I'm gonna let it rest for at least 15 to 20 minutes, and then we're gonna frost it. I don't think this cake is complete without a beautiful sprinkle border.